Hello, freaks, geeks, degenerates, basement dwellers, and random weirdos online. Welcome to the War Zone. I'm Scruffy, and this is Scruffy Tales. And this is a quick look at what is happening around Toretsk and Pokrovsk. And sadly, it does appear as if Russia grinds onward. Right, so this is probably gonna be a quick one. We're gonna use ISW's 3D map to take a look what is going on around Toretsk, Pokrovsk, and the general area here around these two cities. So we're starting off with Toretsk, zooming in. We can see here how Russia is pushing out the Dachna and Dulivka, and they are also pushing in out of Toretsk into this valley. According to ISW, you can see here they're pushing into this valley. This is a vital piece of terrain in the area. You see wide open spaces otherwise. This is where Ukraine can hide, operate, build up forces, gather supplies. Russia is now pushing into the top of this valley, leading in downwards towards a river up here to the north. And this is important for Russia to achieve this, pushing into this valley, because it pushes Ukraine away from the city. Russia has also secured, as we know, some buildings in the mining facility, and they have pushed down this valley, coming down here, and here they can obviously outflank the Ukrainians in the mining facility and come through the windbreaks here if they wish. Russia has pushed out to the river here, cutting supply lines leading into Petrivka and the towns down here, which allows other Russians to assault from the south into these settlements. Moving over here, this is where we saw a 6-kilometer motorcycle assault from Tarasivka all the way up to Novolenivka. Russia moved up to the east of the rivers and lakes here and made a town and managed to push into some surrounding trench lines. What this does is it denies Ukraine the use of this highway here to supply Novopoltavka. Russia had also already pushed up to threaten Myrny here, basically isolating Novopoltavka on two flanks, and we're now seeing Russia making a push, as it were, for Novopoltavka, this hub for the defensive line in the area. So Russia has been struggling here for weeks, and they since then tried to come up on the flanks, and they're now more than likely pushing in towards Novopoltavka. It's basically a three-pronged assault in the area. We see Russia coming up here, and then assaulting in the center as well. So they're trying to bypass Ukrainian defenses, and this push on the motorbikes might actually allow them to open up the assault on Novopoltavka. I don't think Russia is in control of the area here. I think this is still Ukrainian. I think they pushed out of Tarasivka, made an assault against Ukrainian positions here, and that opened up a breach, and that allowed all those motorbikes to just rush through and then head up to Novolenivka to assault rear elements, command posts, drone operators, field hospitals, supply depots, not frontline units. And then potentially Russians down here fell back or moved north to link up with the motorcycle units. I think they're isolated up here, and what Russia needs to do is to take Novopoltavka and then rush along the highway to link up with their forces up here in Novolenivka. Difficult word there in the middle of the night. So these guys are isolated, would be my guess, and Russia needs to hurry up taking Poltavka, otherwise Ukraine might grind them down unless Russia can push up and support them. Then we have west of Pokrovsk. We can see here how Russia has pushed into Spinivka. They also the other day pushed out along the river to a bridge right here. This bridge, took control of it and pushed into this small village here. Let's see if we can find a name. Is it Novosarivka, the edge of their village here? Since then they have expanded a lot of territory, trying to push out. This is contested yet, not confirmed to be under Russian control. But this is concerning. because what has happened over here as well is this push. Russia has pushed out of Shevchenko into the outskirts of Pokrovsk, according to most mappers now. So Russia has assaulted from Shevchenko into Pokrovsk right here. They've pushed Ukraine back at Uspennivka and beyond. That means Russia is back in control of the initiative and momentum in the Vovkova area. This is where Ukraine tried to push in through Salona, Pishan, and Shevchenko to reach this dam here that was the last supply line leading into Vovkova. Russia has now, by the looks of it, secured not only the dam but also a bridge right here across this. You can't. Is it here or is it here? There is a bridge here on. You can see it on the maps. Across this island in the middle of the Salona River. So now Russia can bring supplies this way through Novovasilievka and Salona, and they can make it across here at the dam, making it easier to support the fighting in and around Vovkova. So Russia has flipped the tables on the Ukrainians at the moment, pushing out strongly in Shevchenko and Uspennivka, where previously Ukraine had the advantage and was pushing the Russians back. And you can also see that Russia is coming up this way here through Kotlia Rivka, heading north towards the Salona River, coming up behind the Ukrainians. And then we have, of course, Bahatyr, where the assault has begun. Russia has bombarded Bahatyr for a week, if not more. Relentless artillery barrages against this town. And now the assault has begun. You can see here in Russia is contesting a fortification here, fortified positions, trench lines, and they are pushing for these warehouses. But I thought this would be the main push. But we are seeing this. Russia has made it along this road here. I did not think they would do it because it's not really a proper windbreak. So cover is not the best. But they have made it across along that road, and the vegetation you have here that provides some cover, and made it into town, taking maybe 1, 2, or maybe 3 buildings right here on the corner of the town. So we'll see if Russia will be able to continue pushing here, or if we will see more pushes over here along where we have all these trenches. But the assault on Bahatyr has begun, and I think this is going to be a big fight. Bahatyr and Oleksivka. This is a major defensive hub for Ukraine and a big obstacle for the Russians at the moment. And before finishing, I just want to highlight once more. I keep repeating myself, but you know, in case we have new viewers, which we do. So I just want to highlight what's going on. What Russia is trying to do is push out to this river Salona here, because this gives them space to spread out artillery. It pushes Ukrainian air defenses away from the areas, open up a corridor for aircraft to bomb Pokrovsk, Myrnorod and surrounding area. And like I said, you can spread out artillery instead of bunching everything up in a small narrow corridor over here. So now you can bombard Pokrovsk, Myrnorod, and supply lines and other towns where you have supply depots and what have you behind the front line by going out to the Salona River. And you can launch your drones from closer to Ukrainian rear positions. Say you have Muravki, then you can launch drones 20 kilometers up to Raipole, for instance. So Russia is trying to reach the river to be able to support an eventual push towards Pokrovsk. If they can place artillery down here, they can bombard Kotlina, Udachne, Novopidorone, and support the infantry as they're trying to push north to the west of Pokrovsk. Russia also wants to secure all of this territory here, because from Donetsk you have a main highway here leading to Andrivka. From Andrivka, a highway heads straight north towards Novotroitsk. And Russia needs this road network here for supplies purposes, for logistics. Another road comes in here, of course, to Seledove, very crucial. So, and there's another one coming up here into Rodivka. So these 3 main supply lines is what Russia needs to support the push into Pokrovsk. They have almost secured all 3. And of course, they also need all this space surrounding Pokrovsk to spread out their artillery, spread out supply depots, spread out resting places for troops so they can rotate them in and out of action and set up command posts, mortars, and field hospitals and everything. So very important for Russians to push out to the river. Because if they can push out the river and bombard all the Ukrainian positions up here, these Russians can push up to cut the supply lines coming in to Pokrovsk this way. There's a road coming across there as well. So what the Russians are after around Kotlina is to come up here and cut these supply lines to the west of Pokrovsk, and maybe from here be able to cut the supply lines coming in from the north into Pokrovsk. Supply lines leading into Myrnorod. Russia's trying to come up this way as well to reach those supply lines, but they're working on that, having trouble still. But this is what's going on south and southwest of Pokrovsk. Just because Ukraine stopped Russia in Kotlina doesn't mean the fight is over. Russia is gaining territory south of the Salona River. They're securing a vital supply line, and they're securing territory that allows them to position artillery all over the place to bombard Ukrainian positions at Kotlina and Udachne, which will make it easier for Russia to push north. And pushing Ukrainian air defenses back opens up corridors for fighter jets to move in and bomb Pokrovsk and Myrnorod. So that's what's going on in the area. So yeah, that's that. Hope you found it interesting. I hope I'll see you in the next one. As always, go på marsch, Ukraine, and give them hell.